Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the remote edition of the Rant Booth. I got John Coyle to my right, but we're mirroring, so I don't know, right or left. Either way, he's next to
We're
me.
not next to each other today.
I'm Jimmy Rodweller, and let's get right on with it. Obviously, Rant Booth always brought to you by All Campus. Even though we are away, you could always support the store. Ocean City, New Jersey, in between 10th and 11th Street. On the boardwalk. It's always beautiful. It seems to always be a beautiful Sunday. It's even a beautiful day today, just a little bit chillier than
Yep.
than we've been having the past few weeks. But we have been lucky. Hopefully, we're back next week if the weather holds up. But for now, we're going to be remote today, and we have a lot to discuss when it comes to Eagles, and more Eagles. Where do we even begin? 8-0. They're probably going to be favored out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
There's not a game where they won't be favored unless the Cowboys continue on their tremendous record and we go to Jerry World Christmas Eve. Maybe we'll be underdogs there. But other than that, this team has been excellent, just absolutely excellent. Poll of the
Way
day.
above expectations.
Yeah. Poll of the day brought to you by All Campus. All Campus giving 20% off of everything in the store, including hats and shirts, to all of our subscribers. So go down to All Campus, show them you're subscribed to the channel, and they'll give you 20% off your shirt or your hat. So poll of the day. It's a good one because we're halfway through the season, and it is Philadelphia Eagles fans are taking for granted the greatness of this Eagles team. Agree or disagree? I'm probably going to agree to this poll for the sole fact that I think it has something to do with the Phillies and their success,
Okay.
where the Eagles kind of got swept under the rug for 3 weeks in a season where they have been dominant. They've been
Right.
undefeated. They haven't lost. Their quarterback's in the MVP conversation. They probably have one of the best defenses in football. They do have the best roster in football.
Yeah.
And the Philly success, it took it away from this Eagles team. I know we're going to be getting it back. I know tomorrow night's going to be a big game. But another reason that I want to agree to this poll is the national media saying that we haven't played anybody, all the fair weather fans saying that we haven't played anybody. And in a way, they're right. I mean, we played the Vikings,
Right.
who obviously one loss came to us. We played the Dakless Dallas Cowboys, and we really dominated them. And if we want to be real, I don't think Dak Prescott is the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ himself. I don't think he's as good as everybody makes him out to be. So with or
Correct.
without Dak that week, I think we still would have been dominant. We put up points against that dominant defense, and we shut down that offense. So I think we are taken for granted for the sole fact that we have played easy teams. But
Right.
going 8-0 is no joke. It's hard to win football games in this league, and they're doing a great job at it. So
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that that they are being overlooked a little bit. We're 8-0. We are consistently showing that we can change according to who we play. Our running game is really good some days. Our passing game has been really good some days. Our defense has been great pretty much every time. No mistakes on special teams, no giveaways. The team has done everything we could ask for. Yes, you can say that we played inferior teams, inferior quarterbacks. We do have a little test coming up, right? Everyone wants to talk about how our run defense is a little lax, a little bit weak, probably the weak spot of this team, if you want to say that. We got Derrick Henry coming up. We got Saquon coming up. We got the Cowboys with the Thunder and Lightning coming up.
Yep.
So we will be tested coming up in the next couple of weeks. But you gotta beat who we beat. So going 8-0, I'm not taking anything away from this team. We are the best team in the NFL. Everyone has said that. We're the number one power ranking now for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Can't take anything away from this team.
No, you can't. You said it perfectly, and you brought up the spot on this team that everybody is having problems with is our run defense. And like you said, Saquon's coming up. Derrick Henry's coming up. All these guys are coming back. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, they're coming.
And they look really good lately.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Like we're gonna be tested, and I think this team is going to be up for the test. Like,
yeah,
this has been the best coach Philadelphia team I've seen in a very, very long time. Probably since I started watching sports religiously. This is probably the best coached team I've ever seen. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
agree.
you go back to the Andy Reid days. Yeah, he was an excellent coach. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL right now. But the way it just has like this different feeling to it. It's hard to explain in a way.
I think it's pretty easy to explain. I think it's Nick Sirianni has taken away the play calling and giving responsibilities to other people, and now he's just being a coach, right? He's just being a guy out there that the team can rally around, that he can have the pulse of the team, the feel of the team. He could put out all the fires, all the headaches, all the mistakes. That's what he's worrying about, right? And he's making changes on the fly. We discuss this week after week when we talk NFL. No other coach makes changes like he does.
Yeah,
He's the first coach, maybe in the history of NFL, who says,
doesn't have an
"Hey,
ego.
my running game's working. Let's do it.
Yep,
My passing game's working. Let's do it." Like he doesn't care how he wins. He just wants to win.
yep, yeah. And he's probably the first coach in NFL history that doesn't put out an ego. He's the first
Right.
coach. He's the first coach in NFL history where he doesn't want to be the center of attention. He just wants to win football games.
Right.
And you look
Yeah,
at all these coaches in the NFL that do succeed, Bill Belichick, Andy Reid now, they don't call plays. They have their coordinators call the plays on
they
both
give it
sides.
all up. Yep.
And like you said, they're there to put out the fires.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the other spot to this is he is not coaching for the next job. I feel like he is, I'm a Philadelphia guy. I'm here. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to curse at the other sidelines. I'm going to curse at the officials. I don't care. I'm going to wear the t-shirts that say Dallas sucks. Like
Yeah.
he is a Philadelphia guy. He's not coaching for the next job like a lot of other coaches do in the NFL. They worry about their unique position in the NFL if they could get another job when you get fired, like it always happens, right? He
Yeah.
seems like he doesn't care about that.
No, yeah, I totally agree. And there is one aspect of this conversation as well when you talk about Nick Sirianni for the sole fact that everybody was talking about the pandering in the beginning where
Right.
everybody thought he was just saying this stuff just to say the stuff just to try and fit in, trying to be one of the cool kids here in Philadelphia. That's been swept under the rug in my opinion. Like he is a genuine dude. Like he
He's a genuine dude.
genuinely loves this city and he wants this city to succeed and he
Yeah.
embraces this city.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Alex Bone situation, right? When he first came in, and I think the very first interview was the competitiveness with rock paper scissors, right? And,
Yeah.
and we bagged on him for weeks on this, right?
Mhm.
He just blew it off, didn't reply to it, didn't do anything about it, just went about his business, and now has earned our respect. Not only earned our respect, earned our love. We really do love this guy now.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the game tomorrow night, and then we will talk some Week 10 action. Obviously,
All
we
right.
have Buccaneers in Seattle on right now, and this Buccaneers defense, it's looking good. Tom
Yeah,
Brady,
they're scary again.
I'm telling you, have they had their bye week yet? I don't
I
think they.
don't think they did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I don't think they did.
they, we'll look through their schedule later on in the show, so we'll leave you hanging with that. But I think this Buccaneers team is probably the scariest team in the NFC outside of the Eagles, if it all comes down to it.
Yeah,
Because do you want to play Tom Brady in January? Because I don't know
I
if I do.
never want to play Tom Brady in the playoffs. Never want to see that man.
Yeah, I know there's all about the redemption tour from what happened last year in the NFL playoffs. And Jalen Hurts, I know he's the competitor, and he's our guy. He proved you
Right.
and I wrong.
Yeah.
He was starting to grow on me in the summer. I had the green goggles on. I was drinking the green juice, and I just went out. I was hopelessly optimistic when
Right.
it came to Jalen Hurts this year. I said what he needed to do, and he's doing it all and more. And
Lived
he's
way above what we ever expected from him.
and in a way, I want to see him go against a great quarterback like Tom Brady. But on the other hand, it's Tom Brady in the playoffs.
And like you just said, the defense has been really stepping up, and that's a heck of a defense that they got there. Dallas is another one. Dallas is scary, right? And Micah Parsons is probably the MVP of defense. He's going to be the defensive player of the year, by far. I think he might even get some real MVP votes. He's that good.
Yeah.
And then you got San Fran out there too, who we can't forget about, right? They just made that big trade for McCaffrey, and if they can figure out a way to really use him and Debo in that offense, that could be a really, really. I don't care who their quarterback is. That could be a really scary offense.
And we do have a guy on the street named Odell Beckham that's going to be going to one of these teams.
Yeah.
I don't know what team it's going to be, but he's going to be going to one of these NFC teams, and it's not going to be us.
He's going to go to a contender. Yes.
Yeah. If you had a gun to my head, a hypothetical gun to my head right now, and you asked me where's Odell Beckham Jr. going, I'm saying the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. I think that would be the last option, I think, but Tom Brady does have a lot of pull. So Odell Beckham could go down to Tampa. I think it's always been a Dallas love for him. He's always wanted to be down there. Jerry Jones has always wanted him. So I see him going to Dallas, which would make that team really scary too.
Yeah. I mean, we got Taylor Bowers in the chat talking about the Rams, and they suck.
What are you talking about?
So me and Brad in the beginning of the season before week 1, I was talking about how this roster was the best roster in the NFC and quite possibly one of the best rosters in the NFL. And Brad was not having that. We argued for 15 minutes straight.
I remember.
Hey, they came out on top. The Rams suck.
Yeah, you were way above and beyond that. The Eagles have the best roster. It's not even. I don't think anyone even debates that now.
Oh yeah, and it's apparent. This happens every single time a team signs guys like that. Like when you sign Matthew Stafford to that type of money, when you sign Aaron Donald to that type of money, when you sign Jalen Ramsey to that type of money, when you sign Cooper Kupp to that type of money, you're not going to have any more money left over to build in your trenches. And trenches win football games.
100%. And the Eagles have been doing that the past 3 years, really building on the lines, offense and defense.
Well, yeah. I mean, even when Andy was here, they took care of business when it came to that aspect. They never put anybody on the outside.
Best draft picks.
They never put anybody on the outside in the wide receiver roles, but this year they did a little bit of everything and more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, let's get to the game tonight. Welcome everybody into the chat. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Me and John, hopefully we're back in Ocean City next Sunday. And next Sunday, I don't even know who's on the schedule. It's 1 week at a time. But next Sunday, I think the Eagles finally do have a Sunday football game next week. Right. So we will be pumped up for that. But let's get down to business for this week first. Monday Night Football. Everybody had this marked on the calendar in the beginning of the year because we really, really, really wanted Carson Wentz to play in the link going against us. And guess what happens? Carson Wentz gets hurt.
What a surprise.
It's the same story every single time. And Chris Godwin just scores, and I'm going against Chris Godwin in fantasy. That's unfortunate. But so you got Taylor Heineke, who in a way is this generation's next Ryan Fitzpatrick. He seems to have that magic in him. Guys rally around him. I saw on Nate Moss's show before us, their poll question was, will the Eagles cover an 11.5? I think that's a whopping number.
I think that's too big.
Taylor Heineke does not get blown out. He may not win many football games, but he keeps his teams close in games. So they're starting to get healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say that we're going to lose to the Washington Commanders because I don't think we are. I think it's more of a touchdown game. They maybe like a 28-21 piece. The Eagles.
That's what I'm thinking. 28-20, something like that.
Yeah, but 11.5 is huge.
It's a lot of points, man, especially the divisional game, with the rivalry that these two teams have. That's a lot of points to be given up.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is a lot. I mean, you look at Taylor Heineke's not even Taylor Heineke, just the Washington Commanders in general. The past 4 weeks, I think they're 3-1.
They've been good. Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate because they're in the best division of football. Who would have known that? Just our luck.
Right.
Just our luck. We go we go. We don't have a loss through 9 weeks, but the rest of our division is just unstoppable.
Yeah, we're only 2 games up on first place. Yeah.
If this happens 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we're the worst division in football. We're the laughing stock.
We would have clinched by now if we were undefeated back then.
Yeah. So, I just want to pull up. I want to pull up the Commanders' previous 4 games just to give a sense to the people how close and how good they've been since Taylor Heineke's took over.
Curtis Samuel has been the guy for them on the wide receiver. I think I'm saying his name correctly. It has just been amazing. He's been a top 5 wide receiver every single week.
Yep. So on October 9th, they were 1-3. They hosted the Tennessee Titans, and the Tennessee Titans beat them 21-17. That is when Carson Wentz threw the interception in the end zone to end the game.
Yep.
Since then, Taylor Heineke taken over. Well, then you had the Thursday night matchup against Chicago, which was just ugly. Carson played in that too, but that's when he got hurt. So Taylor Heineke in the past 3 games, he hosts Aaron Rodgers, and at this point, we didn't know Green Bay was this bad.
This bad of a team, yeah.
They beat them 23-21 on a comeback from Taylor Heineke. So that's an impressive win. He goes to Indianapolis, and Indianapolis stinks. But they were
supposed to be good, though.
They're 3-4-1.
Yeah.
So people say they stink, but they're still in their division because the division's weak.
Right.
Anything can really happen in that AFC South. They go to Indianapolis, and they have a late comeback victory against Indianapolis, 17-16.
Yeah.
And Taylor Heineke, it's hard. Like we said, it's hard to win football games, especially on the road.
He's been good in the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah. And then he loses a tough one to the Minnesota Vikings, 20-17 at home. So and his stat line for that game, 15 for 28, 149, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But it's not about looking at the box score with this guy. This guy, if you watch him play, I mean, really, you look at his first playoff game in the COVID year when Tom Brady won it all. You look at that playoff game against the Buccaneers, the all-star team Buccaneers, he damn near beat them.
Correct. Yeah, he had a hell of a game, and you came into the season thinking he might be the guy, right? That they might go with him. Just seemed to never really work out. I'm hoping he gets a shot again this year. When Carson is coming back at some point, I would assume. I'm hoping just don't hand the keys over to him. If they keep playing like this, I think Heineken needs to stay with the ball.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question. When Carson comes back off IR, and they're in a playoff contention for that last wild card spot, and all 4 teams in the NFC East make the playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
Do you think Carson Wentz just gets the job back? He's pretty much done now. It's over for Carson. He's going to be.
Do you think so? I don't know. I mean, it sucks because the raw talent is still there, right? And all it takes is one of those coaches to say, "Hey, I could really change this guy. I could really get him back to where he was in 2017," because we saw it. It's not like he's like a Teddy Bridgewater who people just keep saying, "Oh, he has the potential," never really lived up to it. We've seen what Carson Wentz can be when right and good, right?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a coach out there that says, "Hey, I can change this guy and get him to where he was before."
Yeah.
Right? There's always going to be a coach out there. Whether that's going to be this year in Washington or they're going to stick with Tyler, I don't know. I would hope they stick with Tyler if he really does bring them back into a playoff contention.
Well, even
thank you, by the way, Tommy.
Yeah, happy birthday to our guy John Coyle of the rant booth of All Campus. To many more birthdays, brother. But yeah, I mean, you talk about coaches can make quarterbacks great, and quarterbacks can make coaches look like geniuses.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at 2017. Everybody thought Frank Reich was a quarterback whisperer. Everybody thought that Dougie P and Carson Wentz were the best thing since sliced bread. things can happen, and things happen rather quickly.
Right.
And that can go from really, really bad, which it looked like last year with Sirianni and Jalen, to really, really, really good. So
Yeah.
if Carson were to leave and go to another team and he has one more chance, he better hope he gets a coach like Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen. So
You know he's going to, right? You know he's going to get at least a backup job to where the quarterback has an injury history or, you know what I mean, something like that. He'll go to a team like Miami or a team like Carolina or New Orleans or something like that to where he'll get a shot at some point. And whether he makes the best of it or not, who knows at this point. But he'll get another shot.
well, yeah, it's like the Ryan Tannehill resurrection.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, he's in Miami. Somebody gets hurt. He comes in. He looks good, and then he moves on to a team, and he's had success. I mean,
He's been a Pro Bowl quarterback for them. You know, the last couple of years. The last couple of years he's been bad, but the previous 2 years to that, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback.
well, yeah. I mean, he is Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
He's aging. He did always have Derrick Henry, and that's a great guy to be next to you in that backfield.
it's the number one help for any quarterback.
Yeah, just that presence in general.
Yeah,
I mean, between run blocking, just handing the ball off to him and having him run downhill, running somebody over, and
yeah,
you also always had AJ Brown on the outside with you. Not always, but for most of his core years in Tennessee, he had AJ Brown, and we
yeah.
all see who AJ Brown is right now.
You remember before he went to the Jets, Corey Davis had a couple really good years with them. You know,
Corey Davis
Tannehill
as
made
well.
him a really good wide receiver to where he got paid and moved out to the Jets and now has been the forgotten man out there.
Yeah. So when it comes to Carson Wentz, I think he's probably done in Washington. The only
Yeah,
thing I could see happening here is if something, knock on wood, you don't wish injury on anybody, but if something were to happen to Taylor Heineke, week
right.
14 or whatever, and Carson has to come back in, if Carson has the magic like he did in 2019, yeah, he's probably going to stay with the Commanders. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get into the game. Let's get into the keys to the game.
Yep.
Uh, I just look at this football team. First of all, I feel like I haven't seen them in forever. I mean, between the bye week, Thursday night football, now Monday night football, I feel like this team doesn't even play. I feel like that's why the poll question was meaningful today, because we
Correct.
haven't seen them play. The last time we saw them play, it was in the middle of a World Series game.
Yep.
So it's just kind of there, and that's why I do think we are taking them for granted. But the key to this game is I really think you just don't put anything on tape. That's the really key thing to this game. And I think you got to just keep on playing the football games like that until you need to absolutely win a game, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
No, that makes total sense, and you're right. The key to the game for me is really simple. It's one thing: win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
Right. And that means don't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over, we should kind of skate through this game pretty easily. All right. Not saying we're going to blow them out by 14, but we should never feel in danger if we don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's the only key. Just go out there, play your game, don't make mistakes, and you're going to win. You don't
Yeah.
have to wow anyone. We don't need to hit the 60, 70-yard plays for touchdowns to win this game. You know what I mean? The defense doesn't have to stand on their head. We just got to not make mistakes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So in the summertime, you and I were discussing what this team needs to do on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to selecting plays,
Yeah.
whether we're running or passing. And we got into debates on whether how much Jalen Hurts should be throwing the football, how much we should be running the football, whether it should be 65-35 in favor of running, 55-45 in favor of passing.
Right.
You were on the side of we need to run, run, run. I was on the
Yeah.
side of Jalen needs to throw 28 to 35 times.
Yeah.
And I was on the latter half of that, closer to 35. So I'm going to go through our play selections
All right.
over these games.
I like it. Okay.
And then you and I will discuss what we think should happen the rest of the season when it comes to play calling, when it comes to how do we win this football game? How do we win that football game?
Nice. I would love to hear it. Let's have the numbers here.
All right. So week 1 against Detroit, Jalen Hurts threw 32 times.
Okay.
We ran the ball as a team 39 times. We ended up winning that game 38-35, and it really only got hairy because Jonathan Gannon laid off in the fourth quarter.
And that was the game where I believe Jalen Hurts had like 13 runs or something himself.
Jalen Hurts had 17 carries.
17.
So people were still on the wagon that he only played the Lions. He's still going to be this quarterback that just darts to the right
Correct.
and go. This isn't going to be able to work against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So there was doubters. So in that game, you were correct, and I was correct in a way because they did have a lot of plays. I wanted Jalen to get low to mid 30s in attempts,
and he did.
And that's exactly what he did. His completion percentage wasn't the best that game. He was 18 for 32.
Right.
But he was sensational. They had 4 rushing touchdowns as a team. All right. Minnesota Vikings. This was Jalen Hurts' coming out party.
Yes, it was.
And everybody sees how good the Minnesota Vikings are now.
Yep.
And we really just shut them down. I mean, 24-7. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 31 times. We rushed as a team 34 times. So through 2 weeks, they were a very balanced football team. Our quarterback was looking like the MVP.
Do me a favor, Jim. Give me, when you say the running stats, give me Jalen Hurts' attempts too.
Okay.
Because that changes for me, whether it's a real run or if it's a Jalen Hurts run.
Okay. So Jalen Hurts was 11 carries for 57 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns this game. He was also 26 for 31 with 333 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
Yeah, I mean, and I believe it was a primetime game, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a Monday Night Football game, yep.
Yeah, so like I think you said it right beforehand, this was his coming out party. This was Jalen Hurts putting himself on the map, saying, I'm one of the elites. I can carry a team to a Super Bowl. You got to believe and trust in me.
Yes.
And this was the game that the national news really found out who Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are.
This was the game where I was like, yep, he worked on his stuff, and he did what everybody said he couldn't do because he's been doing the same stuff since high school. Well, he did something where he is very comfortable in throwing the football. And I think that shows from the fact that he's had the same play caller, same head coach for back-to-back years for the first time since freshman year of college, sophomore, high school.
I think it's high school.
Same play caller for 2 back-to-back years. He's had a different play caller from college to now.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen. And Steichen's going to be gone after this year.
He'll get a head coaching job somewhere.
Gannon's probably going to be gone after this year. So that's a discussion for the offseason. Sorry, we go off on tangents. All right. Commanders, where we absolutely pestered Carson Wentz. 24-8. Jalen Hurts was clearly the better quarterback in this game. He was 22 for 35, so 35 passing attempts, 340 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. They ran the ball 30 times. Jalen Hurts ran it 9 carries for 20 yards.
Yeah, I mean, this was the only thing I remember about that game is Carson Wentz just being on his back.
Yeah,
I think we sacked him 9 times.
Exactly, 9 times for 58 yards lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that was a ugly, ugly game for their offensive line, and we took advantage of it. And Nick Sirianni and the offensive coordinator called the right plays, made us look great, and it just keeps rolling. It's just the motto of this team, right? Just win any way possible. So now we went through the first 3 weeks. If we won in 3 completely different ways, right?
Yeah.
And we've gotten praises all from coaching. It's all coaching to me. The players I know play the game, but all different ways of winning, that's good coaching.
Yeah. And like you said, those first 3 games you won in different ways.
Completely different ways, yeah.
And it continued to progress as this guy, like we'll keep talking. I mean, this next game, week 4, Sunday, October 2nd, the Great Nor'easter game, you and I were at 29-21. They ended up winning that football game. And Jalen Hurts, given the weather, you and I were there.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was rough, and they struggled out the gate, 14-0. They were down, and you and I were thinking, "Oh my God, we're
Half the
leaving by
crowd was
halftime."
leaving. Yeah, it was over. No one wanted to stay there in that and watch them get demolished.
Yep. And then the second quarter happened. You put up 20 unanswered points in the second quarter. I think overall you put up 29 unanswered points.
Correct. Yeah.
You
Yep.
ended up it was
Shutting them
29 to
out.
14 at some
Shutting them
point.
out. Yep.
Yep. They had a late touchdown to make it 29 to 21. But this game, obviously, you were going to run the football more. Wait till you see this number. Jesus. This was the Miles Sanders game.
Uh huh.
25 passing attempts for Hurts, 16 completions, 204 yards, 1 interception. So given the weather, he did take care of the football.
He
All
did
things
take care of the
considered.
football, and that I don't know if you remember. Like you said, we were at the game watching it,
Yeah.
and the first quarter was us airmailing it
Yep.
all the day. We threw probably more than half our passes that first quarter. That's where the pick six came in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first quarter, and after that, me and you both said, "Hey, we have to run the ball. Don't abandon the game plan because we're down 14." And again, coaching Nick Sirianni said, "If we're going to win, we got to run."
Yeah.
And that's what we did. No other coach does that. You're down 14-0 at the end of the first. What do you usually do?
You start
Airmail
throwing.
it. You're throwing to get back into the game.
Yep.
He took the complete different approach, and yeah, I mean, it's just some. I don't know. It just feels so special, especially through the first 4 weeks. It felt so special.
Yeah. And at this point, October 2nd, the Phillies were buzzing in a way. They were really struggling. Like this was football town.
Yes, it was
I believe the next day or maybe the day after, that's when Aaron Nola pitched that gem in Houston to clinch the
the
playoff spot.
clincher. Yep,
So at this time, we were all eagled up. I mean,
yep.
there was nothing else on the plate here in the city. We ran the ball 50 times that day. Jalen Hurts had 16 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. Kenny Gainwell, 5 carries, 19 yards for a touchdown. Trey Sermon, 2 carries, 19 yards. And Miles Sanders, 27 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5
Yeah,
yards per carry.
yeah. I mean, that was his coming out party for the year. I mean, I'm not a huge Miles Sanders guy. I did want them to try to make an upgrade at the running back position before the trade deadline, but he is what we have, and he's serviceable. He's very serviceable. That was a game though where he really took the weather elements of a nasty game, nasty field, and really made it his advantage. And
Yeah,
that was really fun to watch. We stayed for most of the whole game, and it was real
yeah,
fun to watch.
yeah. No, it was good. We're 4-0 at that point, going into week 5. This was the game where I think people thought we were going to struggle, possibly lose. We were going to be 4-1 going into Dallas week.
Yep.
We end up going to Arizona and beating them 20-17, and
Yeah.
people still found a way to bitch. Going
Yes,
on
they
the
did.
road in a trap game, the ultimate definition of a trap game here.
Yeah.
You win it, you're 5-0, and some of the fan base still find a way to complain.
Yeah, and that's one of the Arizona Cardinals are probably one of the most hyped team that's not living up to expectations, right?
Yeah,
So that even falls into an even bigger trap game is because you're probably coming in there thinking they're not that good. They're a little bit, not living up to expectations. We could just take advantage of them. Let's look forward to Dallas next week. And no, they handled business. They
yeah,
handled business down there, and they came through in a close one.
yep. So during this game, another balanced offensive attack. Jalen Hurts, 26 for 36, 239 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jalen Hurts carried the ball 15 times for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 15 times, 58 yards.
Yeah.
Total, they carried the ball 33 times. So as you're looking at this 5 weeks in, what were you thinking about Jalen Hurts? Because he was running the football an immense amount of time. As of recent, and we will get to it, he has not been running the football.
Right.
He's been throwing the ball, and
Yeah,
he's
he's been
been
staying in the
throwing
pocket.
darts.
Yeah,
Like,
he's been staying in the pocket a little bit more, and I believe the more conservative West Coast offense has been working a little bit more. The 3 steps out
Yeah.
5 steps out, but he's been hitting his back foot and the ball's been coming out a lot faster lately. Hopefully that's just him learning the progression of his wide receivers and learning the timing of the routes a little bit more. And hopefully we continue to see that going through. But through the first 5 games, if I had one criticism, it was always him running too much. But I don't look at it as him running too much. I look at it as him taking too many hits,
Yeah.
right? But the man doesn't take hits.
No, he's
He
very good with this.
falls, he slides, he knows the precise time to get down before he really takes that big hit. I only remember him really taking one really big hit this whole year, and it was like on the sidelines. I think he was like out of bounds, and they took a cheap shot on him.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't really think he has really sustained any real big hits to where you had to worry about an injury.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's a penalty, Geno Smith. But yeah, no, I hear you. And through 5 weeks, the point of this exercise is to see how the balance of this attack. And
Yeah,
if you can explain it in one word, it's balanced. I
it
mean,
is.
we've said 33, 35, 38
Yeah,
for
32,
passing.
36. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when it comes to rushing, they're over 30 every game.
They are.
And
Whether that is.
now, do you have a problem with it being Jalen Hurts going 15 times or 12 times or 16 times?
No, I don't. I mean,
Because
I
he's
don't.
protecting himself
That's it. He's protecting himself and he's protecting the ball.
and he's running at the right time.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not. I don't think so. If I had to say one thing about this year, he's our best running back.
Yeah.
Right? I think Miles Sanders is perfectly fine. Don't get me wrong. But Jalen Hurts is our best running back.
I mean, he's going to get Miles Sanders paid this offseason. That's the bottom line. Maybe not by the Eagles, but by another team. Miles
correct.
Sanders
Yes.
will get
Yeah.
paid, and it's because of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. He has stolen a lot of touchdowns, right? Anything 5 yards and in, it's Jalen Hurts.
I mean, yeah, but Miles didn't have a touchdown last year. This year he has, I don't know off the top of my head, maybe 5, 6.
I'm not sure, off the top of my head either. But yeah, he's definitely has hit the red zone a lot more than previous years. Yeah,
Miles Sanders has 6 touchdowns.
that's a lot, man. That's
6 rushing touchdowns. 6 rushing touchdowns.
Lot.
Yep. All right. So next week you're 5-0 going into Dallas week, Sunday Night Football, and it really wasn't a close game. You pretty much dominated this team. You had another monstrous second quarter where you put up 20 plus points. You win 26-17, and this line was interesting. Because it did have the feel of a playoff game in a way. Big game, big divisional game. Do you want to guess how many passing attempts there was by Jalen Hurts and how many total carries we had as a team?
I would say he probably had 30 passing attempts.
He had 25 passing attempts, 15 for 25,
okay.
155 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And then what, 40 rushing?
39 carries.
39 carries?
He had 9 of them for 27 yards. Miles Sanders had 18 for 71 and a touchdown.
And if you do remember, and the only thing I'm harping on the Cowboys is Micah Parsons, right?
Yeah.
That he's the man. But if you remember in that game, we ran away from him. We did. We kept the offense completely away from him. If he was lined up on the left, we ran to the right. Lined up on the right, we ran to the left. We stayed away from that man, and it seemed like it worked. I don't know. I don't follow the Cowboys like I do the Eagles, of course, but I don't know if any other team has taken to that script.
Well, yeah, it's another masterful game plan by Nick Sirianni and Shane
It was, yeah.
So does that the way they beat them, that leads you not to be concerned for the fact that he only threw the ball 25 times?
No, at this point I don't care. W's are W's. I don't care if we throw the ball 8 times or if we throw the ball 50 times. A W is a W at this point. I think this whole entire offense and defense has earned the right to throw the ball 50 times or to throw the ball 8 times, right? The defense has earned the right to have 4 takeaways, have 0 takeaways, and just be great inside the 20 to 20, or I mean, bad inside the 20 to 20s and be great in the red zones, right? And only
Yeah.
hold the field goals, right? I don't care how it gets done. It just, this team is getting it done in
Yeah.
any way possible, every way possible. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next week after Dallas, you had the bye week, and then you go into no, you didn't. You didn't have the bye week.
No,
You had the Steelers. Sorry, I'm just
correct.
looking at
And
the
the bye,
dates real
right?
quick. Yeah. Here he is. No, you did have the bye week. You had Dallas week, bye week, and then Steelers.
Okay.
And then you had Thursday night football, which was the Texans.
Yeah.
And now it's the big layoff until Monday night.
Right.
So next 2 weeks after the Dallas game, you host the Steelers. And this is like the height of Phillies playoff baseball, right?
We're
October.
right in the middle of the run to the World Series. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do believe we had off this day for the Phillies.
We did.
Monday was supposed to be Halloween game 3.
Yep.
Postponement, so it gets
Rain
moved
out.
to Tuesday. All right. So 35-13, you win that football game. Jalen Hurts, 19 for 28, 285 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns.
Yeah. All bombs, too, if I remember correctly.
Yes. 3 bombs to A.J. Brown, 1 bomb to Zach Pascal. You only rushed the ball 20 times as a team. You didn't really have that many plays because you just kept on. You were scoring in chunk plays, like you said.
And it was one of those games where you felt real comfortable defensively, so there was no rushing, right? You sat back in that little shell defense. You let them do whatever they wanted between the 20s. When you got into the red zone, you tightened up. That was just that type of game, right? The clock was in our favor. You just wanted the clock to run the entire game.
Yeah, and I was one of the idiots that predicted the Steelers win that day.
Yeah, I remember. You predicted a couple of Eagles losses already this year.
Yeah, I predicted
Cowboys, I believe.
The Commanders.
Commanders, that's okay.
Yeah, because I was still in my Carson Wentz fanboy stage. So
That's
the Commanders,
that boy.
the Steelers, Commanders, Steelers. I think those are the only 2 I predicted else.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I'm going to predict one for the rest of the year. I mean, I'll continue it to try and keep the good juju or keep the
man.
But I don't see them losing, and we're gonna take it.
Christmas
week by week,
game
obviously.
Is the only one I'm worried about, right? The Christmas Eve game is the only scary one that I have on the board right now.
The Titans
besides
can
that,
maybe
I think you're gonna be favored.
The Titans can maybe come like you saw what they did to Kansas City in Kansas City. Like they if they control a football game, they are a really, really, really good team because of the way they run the ball, the way they're coached defensively. And Mike Vrabel, I'll always say it. I think he's the best coach in the NFL right now. Just for what he does year in and year out, what he does with the lack of talent on the roster.
Right.
But for him to get his players to play, it's just I would love to have a coach like Mike Vrabel, but we do have one in Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, and we could talk about it later on, but I do think this is going to be those types of games where we give up a lot inside the 20 to 20, but once we hit the red zone, we're going to tighten up defensively. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be a Tennessee type of game where they're going to get a lot of yards. Derrick Henry's going to eat on us, but it's going to be a lot of 3-pointers at the end of every drive instead of 6s and 7s.
Yep. All right, Thursday, November 3rd. This was the heartbreaking Game 5 loss. I'll never forget that day.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night football. Another game where just some fans just bitch just to bitch. I mean, you go into a Thursday night game. First of all, Thursday night games are weird. You're going into Houston. It's not like it's a home game. You're 7-0, so you're going to get Houston's best punch.
Right.
And you come out and you win by double digits, and people are still out here. Damian Pierce put up 158 yards on us. That is unbelievable. Dude, we won 29-17. Like, relax a little bit, dude.
And to be honest with that game, I don't know. I'm guessing most of the fan base was this way. I didn't really watch it.
No.
You know what I mean? I flip back on commercials every now and then, but that was the height of the Phillies, and that was, I was all Phillied up for it.
Yeah.
And even this past week, we're just about to get into this week. I didn't watch any NFL. This
No.
was a grieving week for me.
Hmm.
Um, so now this is the first day where I'm starting to get back into
Football.
following the NFL again, pretty much.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's well said. So that game, Jalen Hurts, 21 for 27, 243 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. On the ground, you carried it 31 times. Jalen Hurts carried 9 of those.
Okay.
Miles Sanders, 17 attempts, 93 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. ... I mean, that's the 8 games so far. And from what we've seen, very balanced attack. Like you
Yeah.
said, they're game planning and they're scheming their opponents to a T. Like it's been
Yeah.
perfect on the offensive side.
And it has, and yes, it's balanced, but it just seems like it's just coming so freely and easily. Like it's just, I don't
Naturally.
ever look at a play and I'm like, man, it's 3rd and 3. Why didn't we throw the ball there when we ran it? Or I don't remember ever second guessing a play call or anything like that. It
No.
just seems like everything's worked.
Yeah. What's up, Hove? Yeah, everything has worked. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just scary because I don't want to be that fan, but I don't want to get hurt. Like I just got hurt with the Phillies. I'm gonna enjoy this ride, but I know the second we lose, it's gonna be chaos in this city. Like it's gonna burn down. It's gonna burn down.
Are you one of those philosophy people that goes into like week 15, week 16 and says, "Hey, maybe we need to lose one before the playoffs to maybe build up a little bit of knowledge of losing or playing in close games, or you know what I mean? Do you have any belief in that scenario or philosophy?"
So like a lot of people go to this question. Like we're new to this as Philadelphia fans. Like
Yeah,
like, like
100%.
so I before when it was another team, I'm like, oh yeah, they should definitely lose just so that they have a hint of it.
Right.
But watching this team inside out for the first 8 weeks, I feel like this coaching staff, they're not gonna have a problem with adversity or hey, we need to lose this game so that we know what it's like just in case something weird happens in the playoffs. They're gonna take it week by week.
Right.
So for this season in particular, no, I am not worried. I'm not one of those guys where, yeah, we're going to have to lose to the Giants in week 15. We're going to have to lose to the Giants in week 18.
Right.
I,
Or
I,
lose the
I
last game to the Commanders or whatever.
yeah, I don't think I'm for that, but I'm also not the type of guy that's going to say, oh, we need to go undefeated. We need to go for this undefeated record. We're going to be in the history books. We got to be the first team to go 17-0 in a regular season NFL history.
Right. Right.
I'm not going to be that way. But on the other side of it, they're going to take it week by week. And you look at the Commanders tomorrow. You look at the Colts. You look at the Packers. Titans are going to be tough. You look at the Giants. That's going to be tough. You look at
Yeah.
the Bears. The Bears are playing people well. But all those teams that I just rattled off, you're better than them in every single aspect.
Yeah. I mean, we're favorites in every one of those games.
So, no, I don't think we should lose week 17 against the Saints.
Just to get the loss out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot of people that believe that, though.
Yeah, no, and I hear it. I definitely do hear it, but I'm not jumping on that wagon. I
Right.
can't.
Well, if you look through the history of the NFL, right, and I don't know how many years, how many Super Bowls we're here now, but it's only happened once, right? It's only happened once, and you had another team, New England, get close and lose it in the last game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm one of those people that want to lose before the playoffs just to get that monkey off our back, to get that extra pressure that you know you're going to get from the media and you're going to get from the fans and everything of having an undefeated season. I don't know. Maybe it's better to lose and just get that off your back and don't have to worry about answering questions on media day for that.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say to that, though. We probably have outside of Tom Brady, we probably have the best leader in sports
Yeah,
heading
yeah.
our
I mean,
football
it's
team in
yeah,
Jalen Hurts.
yeah,
Like everybody preached it to me when I was hating on Jalen Hurts 2 years ago, year and a half ago.
right.
This guy doesn't lose. Like he's never really been in a losing environment. He is an A1 leader. Like
Right.
everybody was saying he was Mr. Intangible in the offseason, but he couldn't throw the football. Well, guess what? He can throw the football now, and his intangibles are like no other. Like
Correct. Yeah.
he's going to his voice is going to mean something when you're 17-0 going into the divisional round of the playoffs, when you're going up against Jimmy Garoppolo at home.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is cool as a cucumber. I mean,
I hear you. I hate putting his name in the same sentence as the goat. But you're I mean, you're kind of right. Like from what everyone has told us and from what we see and what we know, that is his leadership, his intangibles, his desire to be great is like no other besides maybe Tom Brady.
yeah,
So does that translate into dealing with the pressure of an undefeated season come Super Bowl time? I don't know. I hope so. It definitely is not going to hurt. Uh, but but to me as a fan, I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, let's take that week 14 to 15 L. Let's just get that out of the way.
yeah,
Let's just get that out of the way.
but it's got to
The
come
ultimate
natural.
the ultimate thing is the Super Bowl. Let's focus
Yeah.
on that."
Well, and one of my favorite press conferences probably ever coming from any player was Jalen Hurts a couple weeks ago when he said, "Yeah, I was 6-0 before. Yeah, I made it to the championship that year. I lost it.
Yeah.
The job isn't done until we win this championship."
Right. Right.
And
You can you can
he's not
go
saying it to
undefeated
pander.
and it doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah. He's not saying that to pander around the fact. He's not saying it because that's the right thing to do. He's saying it because it means something. He's saying it because it's not the right thing to say, but it's the truthful thing to say.
Yeah.
Like he's been through this before, and he's gonna get this monkey off his back. I mean, how many national championships did he have? Just the one, right? When he
One,
came
right?
back in for Tua.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one, and that's the game he got pulled, right?
Yeah, but then yeah,
Right? Tua
I
came
think
in and finished it out.
so. I think Tua got hurt in the semifinal game, possibly, and he came back in,
I think so.
something like that. And then they ended up winning the championship, but it wasn't him. Like it was Tua. So he's
It
not
wasn't him, right?
he's not a Carson Wentz guy. Like he appreciated that win, but he is all for going out and getting that championship that's headed by him.
100%. I mean, listen, any athlete who comes in as a professional player has that goal, right? Some of
Mhm,
them want to have, yes, I want a championship, but I also want to be the best player on that championship team.
mhm.
I don't think he has that. That's what I like about Jalen Hurts I really believe that he just wants the championship to solidify himself. Yes, of
Mhm.
course, but it doesn't have to be, hey, I'm the MVP on the championship team. I don't think he has that ego. I think he has the ego of I just want to be known as a champion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no. I'm all for that.
Right, right.
But when we talk about, oh my god, they need to lose. In what aspect do you want, like, do you want them to like play games in December like it's a preseason game? Like you play Jalen for 3 quarters and then you bring in Gardner no matter what in the fourth
No,
quarter?
and it sucks because right, I don't know how you get that loss, right? Because you don't want to pull back the reins and stop the momentum. You don't want to bench people to give them the bad sign as the coach saying, "Hey, we're trying to lose this game to get the loss out of the way to avoid the controversy and avoid the pressure." You don't want that. You don't want to send that message to your team, right? But
Yeah.
again, I know Nick Sirianni is probably sitting here saying, hey, do we really need that extra pressure? Like, this is going to be all our first times going into the playoffs. None of us have ever been on this type of stage,
Hmm.
right? Do we really need that extra pressure? Probably not, right? No, you don't really need it. What's it really
Yeah.
mean? I know it's history and it's all the accolades to being the first true undefeated team since the Dolphins and everything like that. But I, I I want the win. I want the Super Bowl. That's it. I don't care if we win by kneeling the ball every single play and somehow win a game. Like I
Yeah.
just want the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. Um, so last year, I know I was very critical of Sirianni's decision in week 18 to sit everybody
Yeah,
because I don't think, quite frankly, they deserved it. Because let's be real, they did not deserve to be in the playoffs
correct.
after the season that they put up.
Yeah,
Like they
they weren't a playoff team.
yeah, and then those guys get that rest, and then they come out the next week and they look absolutely abysmal. Like they were
Yeah,
unprepared to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
right.
Now, if that loss is week 18 and you're sitting everybody the way Doug Peterson did in 2017 against that Cowboys team when you lost 6-0,
Yeah,
but you end up winning a Super Bowl. You come out flat against Atlanta, but you end up pulling through, and then from there it was all guns a-blazing.
yeah,
Do you see something similar to that where you have an unbelievable season? You're 16-0. You go into week 18 up against the Giants. I
Giant.
think it is the Giants at
Yeah,
home. So
yeah,
you're probably gonna have, like, knock on wood, all things considered, you're probably gonna have everything locked up by then.
correct.
Is that when you set everybody and you just wave the white flag and you have the Giants win?
I I don't think so for two reasons. One is you got that bye first week of the playoffs, so now you're really talking 2 weeks of inactivity.
Well, yeah, that's what we did in 17 and 18, and you came out flat against
Cor-
against Atlanta, and you
You
really got lucky in
snake
that game.
through Atlanta, yes.
Yeah,
Um, I I wouldn't, I wouldn't. But then there's the other side of it that says this is also the longest season in NFL history, right? This is the first time there's 18 weeks,
yeah.
right? So it's another week of wear and tear on your body. So if you can give someone a break, maybe you should.
Like you
I don't
play it
know.
as a preseason game. You play it as the second preseason game where your starters maybe get a quarter or a half.
Yeah, you get two drives and that's it maybe.
Yeah, and you play like it's your last. I mean, obviously you're not in the mentality of, oh, this is preseason, we're playing lackadaisical, because mind you, Giants are probably going to be playing for seeding.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yes.
be playing for seeding. So another thing is if they somehow sneak past the wild card weekend and somehow they're your matchup, maybe you don't want to put anything on tape in that week 18 game. Like, so if there's any game on the schedule where I would want them to lose, it would probably be that week 18,
Right.
just for them to rest their guys, but not really rest their guys, if that makes sense. Have them play a little bit.
No, I 100% agree, and I do think there's a little bit of truth to what you said right there. Is let's say we do have a chance of playing the Giants in our first home game in the playoffs,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I don't want them to see everything we got. Maybe I don't want them to see Jalen Hurts for all 4 quarters. Maybe I only want him to be in there for 2 quarters. So that yeah, the scheduling and how it could line up and who you're playing in the playoffs, yeah, that could affect whether you sit or play your players that last week,
Yeah. No, 100%.
right?
Um, you have any just your game predictions for today? Maybe breakout play or tomorrow, breakout
Tomorrow's game.
players, offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week.
Yeah, keep again. Keep in mind, like I said, this is the first day that I'm really getting back into football talk. I really did take a full week off of just
Everything.
away from sports. Really
Yeah.
did. Even Sixers and Flyers, I didn't really follow too much.
Yeah.
Um, so that being said, I think there's only one person who should be on the watch this week, and that's Jalen Hurts. Don't fumble the ball. Don't throw an interception. We win this game walking away. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care if Miles Sanders has 150 yards or the defense has 6 sacks or anything like that. Jalen Hurts, you don't turn the ball over, we're going to win this game. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear you. I know my keys to success earlier in the show was don't put anything on film, but my
Yeah,
another key is don't keep it close. Jonathan Gannon needs to keep his foot on the pedal the whole game because if you let Taylor Heineke creep into this game, come third quarter, fourth quarter, all of a sudden it's a 8-point game with 10 minutes left.
yeah.
Taylor Heineke will hurt you
He does have a little dog in him. Yeah, he does have a little fight in him where if it gets competitive, he can show up and
yeah.
really make you pay.
If you take your foot off of their throat, they're going to capitalize. So
Yeah,
my thing is, you need to play football for 4 quarters today. I know a lot of these games they haven't played football for 4 quarters. The game tomorrow is going to be the game where you need to play balls to the wall football for 4 straight quarters.
right.
And I know the offense can be lackadaisical sometimes after they put up their 24 points in the second quarter. They need to keep it going, and the defense needs to keep it going.
Yeah,
And by
I'm
keeping it
with.
going, it's really just jump out to a lead, run the football.
Yep,
When you're on defense, if your philosophy is working, stick with that philosophy and stick with it the whole game.
yep.
Don't lay back.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give up field goals, right?
Yeah,
Don't give up the big plays. Don't let them get back into the game. Don't let them think they have a chance.
yeah,
Um, like you said, keep the hammer down on their throats and make sure that they know that this game's over from the minute we kick off. That this game's over.
yeah. So I think this is going to be the two players on defense that are going to have big games in containing the run and containing Taylor Heineke from escaping the pocket is TJ Edwards and
That's
Kaiser
my
White.
guy.
Those two need to have a great game
Yeah,
for us to be comfortable and win this game comfortably. Offense side of the ball, I think Devontae goes off. I mean, there's been a lot of things on social media saying, Devontae, you're killing my fantasy team. He says, quite frankly, I don't give a bleep about your fantasy
yeah.
team. I think he's going to go off today or tomorrow.
Okay.
I think it's another one of those days where he gets 7 catches, 77 yards, maybe a touchdown.
All right.
I think Devontae's going to have a day.
Yeah, and I'm you speaking on that, he's responding a little bit to those outcries of fans and media and everything. I just put that aside, man. We're 8-0. Like
Yeah,
don't worry about that. You're doing your job. That's all that matters. You do the job and let the people in the locker room tell you how to fix it. Don't
yeah,
listen to the media. Don't listen to the fans.
yeah. Listening to Philadelphia media can be very, very demanding sometimes, as you can
Detrimental
tell.
to your
Yeah.
health.
I mean, as you can tell with some of the athletes that have left us recently. I mean, we don't got to say we don't got to say their names. We can say their numbers. 2, 5, and 11.
Yeah, yeah. Those are
Number
the top
five,
two.
15 years ago.
Yep, yep.
So it it could be tough, but
It it is, and I don't want him to fall into that trap of where he needs to feel like he needs to defend himself and he
yeah,
needs to go on the attack and attack the media back. That's a bad way of handling it.
yeah. All right, you want to look into the slate for today? I know the Buccaneers just won and they covered, so there's the first leg of my parlay.
I
Cha-ching.
do want to talk about one other thing first, Jim.
Okay.
The NFL. I don't know if you know this or you heard about this yet, but the NFL is starting to flex games already for next week. Is that too early? Is there concern for the Eagles going to be flexed out a lot because we're a primetime national contending team?
Yeah, so I think that's happening just because of the words escaping me. Just the parity in the NFL that's going
Okay,
on that went on this year. I mean, who would have thought that the Packers were going to be this bad? Who would have thought that the Rams were going to be? I know I said the Eagles were going to be better than the Rams,
true.
but I still thought the Rams were going to win the division.
Yeah, I
Eh,
mean look at the AFC West in general. The Broncos and the
yeah,
Raiders, right?
I
We all
mean,
thought they'd be contenders.
yeah, you and I said that. Well, I don't think you did. I know me and the boys on the Hounds were saying that the Chiefs may not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that
Because the
wasn't me.
West was just it definitely was not you. I'm weird. It's weird because I'm in the spot where I said
Yeah.
it. But Yeah, I mean, I had Russell Wilson winning the MVP. I had
Right.
the Broncos, quite frankly, making it to the Super Bowl, possibly winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all these teams that should have done good, should have had great seasons. They're 3-5, 4-4.
And they look like they're out of it. All right.
They
They look
suck.
bad.
They suck. They're done. I
Yeah.
mean, OBJ going to the LA Rams is not even in the realm of possibility now.
No, they're right, because you don't think they're going to be a contender. So why would he go there? Yeah.
Yeah, another NFC West team. Like when you talk about flexes, I mean, the Seahawks are legit. The Seahawks are a good
Correct.
football team. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year.
Yeah. I think the game that got flexed is they were supposed to be a 4 o'clock game, and they pushed them to the Sunday night game next week. Is the Chargers Chiefs? I
Yeah,
believe is going to be now the Sunday night game for next week.
yeah. Who was originally the Sunday night game?
I can't remember who they bumped, but I know they bumped them to the 4. They're now a 4 o'clock game.
I could maybe try and figure that out real quick. But if it's a Packers team going against, I don't know, a Packers
The
versus
Lions or something, like, yeah.
that could have been the Sunday night game, but
Right.
that's not intriguing anymore.
No one wants to. I just found it funny that it was, week 10, and we're worried about flexing it out, right? I always thought you did that the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, not 8 weeks.
Could have been the Bengals
before
and
the end of the year.
it was probably Bengals at Pittsburgh.
That's what it was. Yep.
And Pittsburgh, I mean, I thought they were going to be competing.
Yeah.
It is also supposed to snow that day in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I don't know. Maybe they didn't want it to get ugly on Sunday night. I don't know.
Sunday night, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was a kind of a odd turn. Is this an every week thing now? Are they going to bump up the best game of the week? Is that going to be every Sunday night now?
Yeah, I mean, we could go to the Google real quick and search up what the Sunday night games are supposed to be for the rest of the year with the schedule.
Yeah. I don't know. I just found that funny that the NFL would take this big of a change and take a market like Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, which are pretty good football markets, right? It's not like that's a bad market, and say, hey, you guys aren't good enough. We're pulling you from a primetime game.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money for cities and teams like that.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, so Sunday night this week was supposed to be Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. That obviously got bumped to Chargers Chiefs, and I think
Yeah.
Chargers Chiefs. That's good. I hope it's a good game.
Should be a great game, right?
I mean,
yeah.
The Chargers have had some pretty boring games this year. Not gonna lie. I mean,
They have, but some
they've
people
been hurt.
say this is the best 2 young quarterbacks in the league, right? And
Yeah.
that's what draws money.
Yeah. All right. So Halloween, Thursday night football, but it'll be the Sunday night telecast. New England at Minnesota. So they're obviously not going to flex any of those games because the Lions will play at noon,
Right.
Cowboys will play at 4:30.
Yep.
I think that New England just kind of just stays there.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're always competing. They're
Yeah,
always,
and Minnesota's the number 2 team in the NFC, right?
yeah. The following or that Sunday, 11/27, Thanksgiving weekend is us, Green Bay at Philadelphia.
That ain't moving nowhere.
That can't move.
No.
That'll put a damper on a lot of things if that gets moved.
Yeah, that's not moving.
The next week, December 4th, Indianapolis at Dallas. That might be moved because
I
Indianapolis
could see
sucks.
that being flexed out. Yeah. Do you have the 4 o'clock games by chance up there, or are you just looking at Sunday night?
I'm just seeing Sunday night as of now. Kansas City at Denver is the following week, 12/11.
Depending on how Denver is.
And once we get to our Sunday slate, I think Denver's outright today. I think they're winning.
I have Denver too. Yeah.
I think that's a good play today
Yeah.
because they're going against Tennessee. I know.
I actually have Russell as my daily fantasy quarterback today.
Okay. Yeah. Following week, this game 100% gets flexed out. New England at Las Vegas.
Oh, that's gone.
That's done. Yeah. That's December 18th. So it's going to be holiday season at that point, full swing. Sunday night on Christmas Day, Tampa Bay at Arizona.
I think that stays just because it's a holiday, right? You can't
Yeah,
change teams' holidays.
yeah. Week 17, LA Rams at LA Chargers. That's New Year's Day, New Year's Day night.
I, I think that should stay. I mean, I feel like that should stay.
Yeah. I don't know how I would get the full slate up for each of these games real quick. I don't know, but I'm sure those games where we said 100%, there will be a better 4:30 game.
Right. Yeah. Especially like the Raiders game and things like that. Like that,
Yeah,
they're going to get flexed out.
yeah,
I just find, like I said, I just find it funny that they were doing it this early in the year. Maybe it's because of weather concerns. I haven't heard the reasoning for it. If it really is a market thing, if it really is a gameplay thing, or
yeah.
if it is a weather thing, I'm not sure.
hmm But yeah. All right. Slate for today. I will pull that up as we speak. I know we just hinted at Denver, Tennessee. Denver's on the road. They are dogs,
Okay,
and I got them outright. Screw the points. I think they're winning the football game.
I'm with you. I have Denver.
All right, but for the sake of our
Are
monster
you doing
parlay,
our bet? Are we doing our bet now?
yeah.
Okay.
For the sake of the parlay, we'll just go Denver points.
Yep.
Uh, 1 o'clock today. Houston travels to New York Giants, and Houston has 5 points. I think I got the Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the
I think the
Giants.
Giants are good there.
Yeah.
The Giants are for real. I mean,
Giants are a great team. If Saquon stays healthy,
there's a
that's
lot
a
of
real team.
candidates for Coach of the Year as well. I mean, I think Nick Sirianni has to at this point, especially if he stays undefeated. But
Yes.
there's a lot of like Pete Carroll, Brian Dable.
Dable's the next guy to me. I think it's either Steriani or Dable.
Yeah. Um, who's next? We got New Orleans at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored by 1 point.
I
I think I
maybe
got
leave.
Pittsburgh. And maybe leave
Yeah,
it, but
Pittsburgh. I don't think we can leave it. I think there's only 12 on the slate.
yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
I,
Pittsburgh.
I think I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I think they've been sneaky. I mean, they're coming off the bye week. I never want to bet against Mike Tomlin for not having at least a 500 record.
Right. Yeah, he usually always does. Right.
I mean, TJ Watt, I don't know his status.
He's supposed to be back. I heard.
So if he's back, I mean, let's ride with the Steelers, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Lions at Bears. Bears are favored by 3.
Bears have been looking real good lately.
Yeah, I picked up Justin Fields last week on waivers.
It's a hell of a move. The dude's really balling out right now.
Before the 42-point game, I picked him up on waivers. Man. The Lions are just such a weird team to bet against.
I don't like the Lions right now because I think they traded their best weapon, and that's man that sends a message through the locker room.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so,
the
so I'm
Bears traded
taking.
their defensive leader. I mean, Roquan Smith, and their defense was looking pretty good this year.
That's true. I mean, they definitely needed it. Yeah, I'm still taking the Bears.
Yeah, I'll leave it because I have no idea. That's a coin flip for me.
Okay.
So I'll go Bears. Like we said, Broncos, Titans are only favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
So I think the Broncos get the plus 2.5.
I'm with that.
All right, Browns go down to Miami. Miami's favored by 3.5. Every time I bet against the Browns, they screw me.
They 100%. 100%. I was just about to say the same thing. I don't understand how a team like them can always lose but always cover. Right?
Yeah.
They never don't cover.
Tua
That
looks
being
so
said,
good.
I'm taking Miami.
Yeah, Tua looks really good with those two weapons.
Those two guys are going to be number 1 and number 2 receivers in the league, possibly.
Yeah,
And Tua's got to be number 2 in MVP talks. I mean, he's got to be up there.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely up there. I mean, I think Josh Allen's fallen.
Yeah.
Patrick
Josh Allen's
Mahomes is
definitely
there.
falling.
Patrick Mahomes is there. I think the top 4, top 5 right now in this order: Lamar Jackson at 5, Josh Allen 4, 2 or 3, Mahomes 2, Hurts 1.
See, I have Parsons ahead of both Allen and
Well,
Jackson.
it's a quarterback's
It's a quarterback-driven league.
it's a quarterback's award.
Yes, true.
I mean,
True.
Saquon's got to be the actual MVP of the league, no?
It's hard to say not either. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
He's
AJ
literally
Brown
their offense.
could be
AJ
up there.
Brown.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah, I think you're right in your top 3. I think your top 3 is there.
all right. So we got Dolphins 3.5. Vikings go to Buffalo. Now, apparently, Josh Allen needs Tommy John surgery. Allegedly,
I don't think he's getting surgery, right? But I do think he's out this game.
Is he going to be out?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the ins and outs. I know he was very questionable, and to the point where somebody said he was doubtful.
All right, I'm pulling up the injury report on CBS Sports.
But I haven't seen the in-out reports yet.
Let's go to Old Reliable. Let's go to ESPN Fantasy Football.
There you go. That'll tell you everything.
Because it's a 6.5 point line right now. The Vikings are getting 6.5.
Yeah, I'm jumping all over that without Allen. Without Allen, that could change to a pick'em game.
As of 5 minutes ago, Allen, right elbow, will start Sunday's game against the Vikings. As of 5 minutes ago, per Adam Schefter. He's in.
Yeah, I'm still taking the Vikings.
He's dealing with a UCL injury that he sustained during week 9.
Man, they must feel real confident that he can't hurt that anymore.
Their backup is Case Keenum.
Yeah, I'm all over Minnesota today. It's 6.5
at Buffalo. Even though they're coming off that horrendous loss to the Jets, you don't think this is a get right game?
No, I with that type of injury, can he even throw the ball? Like I need to see it before I go all in on him. Like that's a big because that's on his right elbow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a big injury, man.
All right, I'm gonna hold that for now, and then at the end I'll make the decision.
Okay.
All right. Jacksonville travels to Kansas City. Jacksonville gets 9.5.
I'm a Jags guy through and through.
This is a tough one.
I picked the Jags to go to the playoffs. I need him to start collecting some wins somewhere. I don't think this is it, but 9.5 is a lot too.
Kansas City coming off the great emotional victory against Tennessee in primetime last week. They could have a hangover after that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Etienne has really turned into the running back that we thought he was going to be in the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah, really could have used it when I started 0-7, but I'm not complaining now.
He is he's turned into one of those lethal backs that can do it all: block, run, catch. I don't know. I'm a Jaguars guy. I think they're going to hit their stride at the right time to make a playoff push.
Their defense is young and they're very talented too.
It's solid. Yeah, it's very solid.
I'll give it. I'll give the 9.5 to the Jags. I'll do it. All right. This is just stinks. This game. Indianapolis Colts travel to Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas favored by 4.
Yeah.
Yo, Mr. Wing.
I took Indy just because of the points. Like I think they keep it a field goal game. I think it's like a 6-3 game. like I know Darren Waller's out.
Renfro's on
IR. Adams just hasn't been the big playmaker that he was in the past. That offense just doesn't look like what everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I think I'm going to lean towards the Raiders just because Sam Ehlinger stinks. And I just don't think that Derek Carr and Devontae Adams stink the way that they've been stinking.
I hear you. I think they should be better than what they are, but until you are, I mean,
they're the same team as last year. The only difference is they added the best receiver in football.
yeah.
Like, I don't understand. And Josh Jacobs is having a career year.
And again, let's not put away the fact that this team has literally cut like their last 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Like just outright traded them or cut them.
Well,
Right?
they're gonna have to trade Derek Carr to get those first round picks back. I think. Don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see what type of message. It's Maylock, right? That's how
Yeah.
is their GM. What are you sending your team? Like you're the one making all these picks, and then you're the one cutting all these guys. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up with that organization from the top to the bottom. I think they're in dismay. I just don't trust them one iota right now.
Yeah, and it is hard to lay a team or to lay 4 points on a team when their wide receiver 2 is Matt Collins.
Right.
That's
And
another
no
one.
tight end to speak of.
Yeah, I mean Foster Moreau. Like, come on.
Yeah, no tight end to speak of.
Yeah. All right. That's a coin flip.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Vegas. I don't know. That game
I love the
stinks.
points for that. You really think this is more than a field goal game? Like I don't see any team scoring more than 12.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Devontae has a huge game.
Oh boy, here we go.
Josh Jacobs has been having a career year. Give me Vegas. There's just so much talent. Like, Jonathan Taylor sucks. Like, I was being laughed at for drafting Justin Jefferson first overall instead of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there. Yes.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that more next summer when it comes to if you have the first pick in a fantasy football draft, you should always take one of those top 4 receivers with that first pick. Because no, you know they're not going to get hurt. I mean, knock on wood. I mean, running backs get hurt all the time.
But you took Justin Jefferson. What are you? What's your record?
In that league, I'm first place in my division. I think
I'm
5-4. Yeah, because I have ETN. And I ended up trading Saquon for Travis Kelce. But this was this was like 2 weeks in.
Okay.
So, like, I have Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Travis Etienne. My RB2 just sucks. That's the bottom line. I mean, I've been starting Latavius Murray. I've been starting Benjamin.
Ooh.
So we'll be in trouble come playoff time. But I'm hoping those guys can just carry me. All right. Got 8 minutes to finish this. We got 4 teams because I want to get it in by kickoff.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys at Green Bay Packers. Every time I bet on the Packers, they screw me.
Give me Dallas all day.
Minus 3.5.
Yeah, Dallas. Parsons will probably have another 4 sacks.
Cardinals at Rams. Rams favored by 3. I got the Rams.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
I think Kyler Murray's just not good.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then tonight, Chargers at 49ers. 49ers are favored by 7.5.
I'm all over the 49ers. I don't know. I think they're the second most dangerous team behind the Eagles in the NFC. I just think that they're going to put it together. I mean, we can knock on Jimmy G all we want, but the guy wins. That defense boasts back. Yeah.
Justin Herbert's going to lose by 8 points.
What has Justin Herbert done? I mean,
I know.
Is Mike Williams and Keenan Allen out again today?
I know Williams is out. Keenan Allen's probably out because he's always out.
Yeah, you could be as good as you want, Justin Herbert, but if you got no one to throw the ball to, like.
I'm also staring at that over-under and going under 45.5.
I'm all over the over.
Seriously.
I love this offense. How can you not love this offense? I mean, you got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, Kittle, McCaffrey. Like, man, they're dangerous, dude.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Well, that's it.
That's our 12?
That's our 12. That is exactly 12. Well, we have to go back to...
one game you skipped, right?
Yeah, it was the Vikings Bills. I'm gonna go Vikings.
I like the Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 11 games.
Only 11 games
Yeah,
because of the morning game.
yeah, and they're not letting me bet on the Giants.
Smart.
They're not letting me bet on the Giants.
There's probably an injury that we don't know. That might just happen.
It just moved to 4.5.
What?
From 5, it just went down to 4.5.
Okay. All right. I like the Giants.
All right. So $1 is gonna win me 1,288.
We're rich.
We're rich. We are rich. Let's hope that everything hits in the 1 o'clock and then possibly a cash out opportunity.
Boy.
All right. All right. That was another edition of the Rant Booth. Great show. That's John Coyle. I'm Jimmy Rodweller. We are always sponsored by All Campus. All Campus, giving away 20% off of everything in the store, including hats and shirts to all the subscribers. So go down to the store right now. It is a beautiful day here in South Jersey.
Yeah.
Maybe a little chilly, but always handing out those good deals. John Coyle, I'm Jimmy Rodweller. Everybody have a great